I want you to remember something very important. I want you to ask yourself this important question, that what are the stakes here? All our efforts in whatever we do in life depends upon how important that thing is. What are the stakes? What is at stake? And I cannot stress this more. I would never say that any exam determines the trajectory of your career or your life, but I would definitely say that this exam that you're about to take, whether it's NEET PG or INI-CET, it is going to have a huge impact on what you do in your life. So the stakes are as high as they can get. And that is why we have to ensure that we put a performance which is at the level of the stakes. We have to put the performance of our life here. Take a pause, close your eyes, ask yourself a simple question. Am I doing enough? Am I doing all that I can do? And if the answer comes out to be no, then you have to course correct. Why? Go back to question number 1. The stakes are so high that this is not the time where you can afford to be at the suboptimal level of your performance. The moment you ask yourself this question, am I doing enough? And the answer comes out to be no. And then you say, okay, I need to course correct. This is going to haunt you. This thought is going to haunt you. But everybody else has gone ahead of me. What about all the time that I've wasted? What about all the hours that I've spent scrolling the reels? What about all the hours that I've spent watching videos on YouTube? Isn't it too late? The answer is no. It's not too late. And I'm not going to give you an empty motivational speech here. I say it is not too late because of a very logical reason. In fact, because of a couple of logical reasons. The first logical reason that I'm going to present to you is the type of the exam. Medical exams are always going to be heavy on facts. And that means whatever information that is there in your mind is going to determine whether you crack the exam or not. And a lot of this information is factual, which means it is going to stay in your mind for a small period of time only. That is the reason why often we see that people who accelerate very well in the end up doing much better than a lot of people who have been studying throughout the year. The capacity of your brain is limited. If you can put a large amount of material in the last couple of weeks, couple of months, and you can vomit it out on the day of the exam, you will do exceedingly well, because the nature of exam is such. So it is not too late because of the type of exam that we have. And second thing, my dear students, I have always said this, that entrance examination does not test only your knowledge base. It also tests your temperament. It also tests how well are you able to handle stress. It is not easy for anybody to remain in that stressful period for 10-11 months and perform at their peak, at their best. Every year, for the last 10 years, I have been seeing this. Large number of students start off very well. The preparation is going very well. Somewhere in the middle, they start getting too anxious. They start feeling I would not be able to crack it. They get a bad grand test score. Something happens and their preparation derails. It's a very unfortunate fact of preparation that even good students keep on dropping out of the preparation. While I'm speaking this, while you are listening to me, at this very moment, there will be students in our country who would be getting this thought that is baar nahi ho sakta. It is no longer possible this year, and they would be stopping with their preparation. It's a very sad fact. It's a very unfortunate fact. But at the same time, this thing always creates a window. It always keeps that window open. And that is why one of my favorite lines is, when it comes to NEET PG entrance examination, when it comes to INI-CET examination, it is not over until it is over. Till the last day, the entrance examination, the game remains open because of these factors. So it is not too late. You can course correct. In fact, I would say you can start. I can very confidently say, even if you're starting today, you can still crack this examination. Maybe you will not get into top 10. Maybe you will not get into top 100. But beyond that, all the ranks are up for grabs. But I wasted a lot of time. Again, this is something that students say repeatedly. This is not only about entrance examination. This is something that I want you to keep with yourself for the rest of your life, right? You have to ensure that your efforts, your mental efforts are focused only on things that you can influence. There's a very famous book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It talks about circle of influence, circle of concern. Influence means things that I can change today. If I am sitting 100 days away from the examination and a thought comes in my mind, but I wasted last 3 months, but I wasted last 6 months, can I change those things? The answer is no. This is how mind works for majority of people. They keep on thinking about the past. This happened, that person got angry, that relative got sick. This is why I wasted time. And very few people are able to ask themselves, can I do anything about it? And if no, then I will not think about it. I will focus on things that I can influence. So if those thoughts are tormenting you, ask yourself, what is it that I can influence, and work on those things. And I'm telling you this, today you're sitting thinking that why I wasted so many days, and focus on things that you can influence. And another big question is, can you give the performance of your life? Some of you might have watched my video where I talked about how I cracked my entrance examination in 40 days. That is why I keep talking about the performance of your life, because back in 2011, I was in a situation when I came back to India from US. I was appearing for my USMLE steps. I came back to India in December and my exam was in first week of Feb. I had hardly 41 days left and I decided to give it a shot. I decided to study. And when I decided to study, I decided that it is going to be my best shot. I'm going to do all that I can do. And I gave the performance of my life. In those 40 days, I went berserk. I would study the entire day. Everything, whether it is eating, whether it is taking bath, everything was in breaks. I studied very hard. I've never worked that hard ever in my life. And I could crack the exam. And the same is applicable to you, my dear students. If you can give the performance of your life, believe you me, nobody can stop you from getting any rank. You know, a lot of effort condensed into a small period of time works wonders for an entrance examination like NEET PG and INI-CET. It's all about gathering courage. It's all about gathering strength and giving the performance of your life. If you can give the performance of your life, you'll get the result of your life. At least 10 to 12 hours a day of study. This would include, if you are watching our live lectures, 10 to 12 hours a day, 9 out of 10 days. You can take a break, half day break or even a full day break on every 10th day. And you have to clock at least 10 to 12 hours a day. And later half, you have to take it to 12 to 14 hours a day. 19 out of 20 days. Which means now you can take break once in every 20 days only. This is the ask. This is a clear-cut ask. And when I say 10 to 12 hours a day, I mean 10 to 12 hours a day. 10 to 12 hours cannot be where you are sitting in front of the laptop or your mobile phone and thinking about something else. During these hours, your concentration has to be between 0.8 to 1x. You guys are very fond of video speed, na? 1x, 1.5x, 2x. I want you to give some consideration to your concentration. Is it at 1x or is it at 0.5x? Because if you are studying for 10 hours at 0.5x of concentration, you are studying effectively only for 5 hours. This is not going to help you. You can't fool yourself. It has to be 0.8 to 1x. Why I am saying 0.8? Because it's humanly impossible to always stay at the peak of your concentration. Some amount of wavering will happen, but you have to bring yourself back. Whenever you see your concentration is wavering, bring the concentration back. And what do you get in return? The rank of your choice, the college of your choice, the branch of your choice. All right, coming to the specifics. Now, we cannot make great concepts. We don't need to make great concepts, but we have to have basic concepts. Okay, why? We cannot remember everything, right? There are a lot of questions which can be solved if your concepts are there, if you have understood the topic. And those questions you must get correct, because that frees your brain, that frees your mind to remember other things which are completely factual. If you have to go for rote memorization of even conceptual topics, basically you are stuffing your brain and not leaving enough space to remember those things which are completely fact-based. So some concept is important. But as I said, facts are going to be very important in the exam, and you have to have good hold on facts, good hold on PYQs and PYTs. Nowadays, they rarely give the same PYQ again. What they do is they twist it. Same question, twist it in some manner, and that's why PYTs become important. MCQ practice, art of solving MCQs, art of ruling out, art of answering a question when you are not completely sure. GTs, a couple of GTs definitely, to have some practice. And finally, the ACE card, being able to revise everything in the last 10-15 days. These are the things that we need to do.